Hey, it's another Tuesday night, and where else are you? You're here at the Black Cat Lounge. Why? Because you're cool cats. You're not crazy. Well, you are a little crazy if you're hanging out with me, but that's all par for the course. You know what I mean? And we're just thrilled that you decided to stop in. Where else would you want to be on a Tuesday night in a bar that has no alcohol, next to the dumpster transfer station, where the elite meet? You can't get any better than that. Hey, let me just tell you guys, I had a pretty good week. And hey, Ken, how you doing? Jason's in the room. My friend Victoria's in the room. We've had a really good week going on, and it's the way it has to be. It's really fantastic. I hope all of you guys are having a great week. Now, listen, society is like opening up. Can you believe that? Finally, it's almost as if the nightmare is not quite over, but we got some great strides. Hey, Carrie, Andre is in the room. John Kennedy is listening in. He's the living legend of Michigan. You know what? When you drive into Michigan, he stands there like this. He's got a little statue, and all the bridges coming in from Canada, he's like this. Welcome to Canada. This is John. This is my buddy John Kennedy. So he's there. Hi, Debbie. How are you? And Johnny's watching from work. Shh, everybody, don't speak too loud. We don't want Johnny to get in trouble. But listen, all I'm going to say is let's use a little common sense. Let's not get crazy. Let's not get the COVID craziness. It's going to be a little bit. It's not over yet, guys. Not over yet. So let's just kind of relax a little bit and take a breath and just use your head. And Deb, oh my God, Deb DeRoos is in the room. Deb DeRoos is one of my favorite people. She got caught with me and Zaffis in an elevator once. She's never been the same since, let me tell you. I remember looking over there and Deb was just like this. We were talking and Deb just like, but we've been friends ever since. So yeah, she's going to be up at the Sioux and I can't wait. Can't wait to see her. A little change at Dragonfly. Dragonfly is now known as Dragonfly Art and Soul, and they've got a really ambitious schedule going on there. They've got Eric Charles Tuberdike, my buddy Eric. He's going to be. Hey, Satori Hawes is in the room. Half of the beautiful paranormal couple. Wait a minute. When I talk about Satori and Cody, I got to do this because I just feel so warm and fuzzy inside. And they are. Of course, they are fellow oddity collectors, and I love those guys. I love them to death. But also, they're going to have pop-up readings with Mary Winstall, who is a really phenomenal reader, and she's come up a long way. And they're going to have a shamanic despacho ceremony at the end of the month, at the end of June. So that's something that everybody needs to see. And a really important thing now is Joe Piari of Paranormal Oddities, our good friend. He is really doing well. Everybody knows that he had COVID, and actually he had the UK version variant, which is really bad. But he's really feeling well. He's healing every day. He's getting stronger every day, and his timetable is to open up Paranormal Oddities shop the second week in July. So when he does, I'll let everybody know, and everybody has got to go and support him and help him in any way they can, because he does so much for the community. And I just want to let Deb, you like my StreamYard promo behind me? I'm special. I get the duck. I get a duck. That's why. Anyway, June 2nd, Cleveland, Ohio. Part of my collection will be at a gallery opening at the Buckland Museum of Witchcraft and Magic. We have a woman a photographer that does some fun occult photos, and then we're going to temper it with my original antique photos of gypsies, and of course, all the other good stuff I have, and psychic advertising and that sort of stuff. So we're going to have a lot of fun. And I can't wait for that to go. And that's all that we need to know about what's going on. But my friends, I have got to go, and I'm going to bring on my guest, because my guest has her show that starts off almost immediately after this show ends. And that's like, I can't believe she's actually taking the time to come on the show and just hang out with us. And I have to tell you, I love her. I got to ask her how long we've known each other, because we've known each other a little while. And I just saw, it just seems like 4 days ago that she and I saw each other as we were filming, because why? We are like superstars, she had her people call my people that had other people call. So that's the way it works. So anyway, I just want to welcome a good friend of mine. Kristi is just so sweet. She's a medium. She's a Reiki master healer, which I love. She's a paranormal investigator. She's a metaphysical instructor. And I got to tell you what, I know a lot of instructors in the local area, and really, she's one of the people that always has some great reviews. Bar none. I have never heard anything bad about her. I've heard a lot of bad things about me, but that's because I do mediumship boot camp, and I have people crying, but that's another reason. That's another thing. Anyway, she's been seen on Destination Fear on the Travel Channel. She's been Behind the Shadows, and now When Darkness Falls, which we were filming for, and which is seen on the. And I don't know if you really can say this or not, but it's the QOSM network. That's the closest as I can get to it. It's Elizabeth. it's our good friend Elizabeth's place. Anyway, please, everybody, welcome a good friend of everybody out there, the one and only. Everybody, hey, wait a minute, get your sunglasses on, because you may need shades, because she is such a rising star. Kristi London. Hey, Kristi, welcome to the Black Cat Lounge.
I can't even.
What can I say?
My God. Were you trying to see how many shades of red you could make me turn?
No way, Kristi, no way.
I appreciate all of the wonderful things you just said about me, and I'm getting
true.
hotter and hotter and redder and redder.
That's all true, Listen, there's nothing on there that everybody knows I will call bullshit. Everybody knows that.
You will.
Yeah. I mean, I have that. I'm old, I'm cranky, and I probably, have to go to the bathroom or something. So I'm usually that kind of a cranky guy. I'm cantankerous. So when I give people compliments and really tell them like it is, it's truth. And I like the fact that people actually go and, I mean, seriously, as a reader, as an instructor, I have heard nothing but great reviews from you and about you. And I think that's really highly recommended. And that's hard in this day and age, because, competition is out there. And so as a mediumship instructor, they really say that you have really helped so many people connect. And I think that's great.
I appreciate that. That's what means the most to me.
I think it's great. I mean, I think it's fantastic the way you actually can work with, and I got a chance to work with, because we never actually got a chance. We never get a chance to work with each other, and that's what's so cool. When like this weekend, I'm just, because I stand back. I like to stand back and let other people do it, and then I'll add my 3.5 cents in, and and it was great because the fact that I could feel the energy, and I could feel where you're picking up and what I was picking up. And sometimes we pick up the same thing. Sometimes we're on different areas. It was great. It was just so much fun. Yes. Now it's time to ask you the hard questions. On this little yellow legal pad, I have several very, very hard questions. I told you we're not, I'm not going to go, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for you.
All right. Bring it on.
My hard question. Would you like fries with that order? That's my hard question.
Please.
Yes, you got it.
Is that even a question?
Close enough to me.
Right.
Now, Kristi, I got to ask you. Now, I mean, everybody knows my backstory. Have you always known that you had the ability, whether it's psychic or mediumship ability, and let me also temper that question with, at what point in your life did you realize that it was like, oh, well, yeah, this is what I am?
Good question. I always knew that I was different, and I always knew that I experienced things that I thought everyone else did too, that I only knew as normal. So I am one of those people who have known all of my life and just was born open, I guess you could say.
Hmm.
I didn't have any kind of real awakening period, which was hard for me when I did finally come into my own with this, and then, started, working with other people, not mentoring, but mentoring myself, or just getting to know other people who have been through the process, because it always made me feel like something was wrong. Like, shoot, what did I miss? Like, what's wrong with me? Am I not doing it right? Is it? But we all know that's not the case. And, coming to find out, it's just as far back as I can remember, this is just me. So in my childhood, it was very scary, and it was very alienating. And I know that it had me act in ways that made me come off as difficult, or I was difficult, or overly active and hyper, perceiving things differently than others, and so on and so forth. I had friends, but I didn't have friends. It's not that I wasn't liked or well liked. It was just that, you never really found anyone to connect with except for a few people. And then, even your family, it's hard. And as a parent now of gifted children, I can relate to that side of things. So as I grew up, it was more, I kind of just learned. I always knew there was something about me, but I also have the personality and attitude that I just decided I was just going to be me. And if people didn't like it, then they can go themselves, which is it was a defense mode is what it is. And I think a lot of us go into it because of that. But I actually just decided I was just going to be nice to everybody and do what I could. I was far from perfect. And I certainly, I'm human. I didn't always accept everyone and wasn't always nice to everyone, but I was open to everyone. I didn't have like a clique or a group that I belonged to. I could just simply flit around with everybody, besides maybe the 2 or 3 people that I did have that were closer to me. I would know things were going on. I was really sick when I was 10, and it was something called Stevens-Johnson's syndrome or disease. I don't know. I got into a fight with a nurse back in 1986 when I had it. They didn't know anything about it really, so they called it disease. Now this nurse fought with me and said it's syndrome or whatever it is. Most people don't even know it, but it basically kills your immune system. And I know over the years, there have been multiple children who've died from it. And so I remember being in isolation in the hospital and, trying to have them figure out what's going on. It affected every single part of my body, including my eyes. And I had to see specialists for years afterwards. I even used to have scars, really big scars on my arms and scars under my eyelids and everything. And so when I finally was able to go home, I started seeing things. And so at first it was, and no, it was not, I did not have a near-death experience, nothing like that. I even remember asking my dad in the hospital one time when he stayed with me overnight, my mom had a break, am I going to die? Because I felt like I was going to die. And he said, no, you're not going to die, but it really did affect me that much. And I feel like that experience opened me up a little bit more naturally. So when I came home, I started seeing splotches of colors, purple and green, and being really drawn. Like as a 6-year-old and a 5-year-old, I could remember looking over my shoulder and no one was there, but I felt like someone was hardcore staring at me. When I was 10, after I was sick, it was like, okay, now I'm seeing stuff, and it used to scare me all the time. And my mom was really good. She had no explanation for it, but she was as supportive as she could be. She wanted to believe me. She knew I wasn't making it up, but what do you do, right? When you can't explain it and there's no other explanation. So we just thought it was my eyes, but my eyes healed over the years, and the colors got stronger. So what I learned over the years with that was that it was spirit that I was seeing, or my spirit guides letting me know they were there. Purple and green are my colors. I also see white or shadow, or the air will change, and it's almost like looking through the fumes of a charcoal grill. It can get real thick or plasmic or wavy looking to me when all the air around it is clear. So I did have a grandmother, my grandmother, my dad's mom, who whenever I was afraid and I was home alone, I would be able to call her. So by then I was in high school, middle school, high school, and I knew, okay, something's going on. I'm connecting with the other side in some way, shape, or form. But again, only having that limited understanding. And right around that time is when Sylvia Brown hopped on the scene. And as soon as I saw her on Montel Williams' show way back then, I connected and I was like, whoa. And I looked for every episode she was on, because even though I wasn't doing what she did yet, there was a connection and I just could relate to that. Oh, thank you, John. Stop it. You're going to make me turn red again. So, you learn to adapt and adjust in your life. And then, I was a young mom, and by the time my older two were born and little, I realized things just naturally slowly progressed. And I started to realize, but it wasn't until almost my 30s. I was almost 30 when really things started opening up, and then into my early 30s when it really started to take off, where I knew what was going on. I knew, but I didn't do anything with it. And when a friend of mine that I grew up with down the street actually said, hey, I'm going to be doing this because I'm gifted in psychic, and put a label on it, as people say, right? And acknowledged herself for who she was. She took classes and needed someone to practice. I had her over to practice on me, and I ended up reading her. And I had another friend, that I've been just as close, actually closer with, my best friend, Janine, that she had said to me when I first started really practicing and really owning who I was. I said to her, she said to me one time, she looked at me real seriously and goes, I said something like, I can't believe I'm reading it. Like, this is just insane. I was the kid that, flipped cards over and got them all wrong. And she looked at me and she goes, Kristi, you've read me our whole lives. And we're a little bit older now, we'll say. And so, I'm not going to go there. No, I'm kidding. I don't care. We're 43 now. And, since we were 5, we've known each other, and our families go back even further, and we didn't know it when we met. It's just the way it worked out. And, I looked at her and I was like, wow. And she explained it, and it made sense, because what she described, how I was with her, our whole lives, is how I was with everybody. And, it was just intuitively picking up on things, psychically, intuitively being able to read, having information that I didn't understand where it was coming from, but it was right, which explained a lot of things. Oh, hi, Joe. I'm so glad to see you on. I hope you're feeling better. Aw. So, yeah. So, so there you are. I had some things I had to focus on as a mom. And once the older two were older, it's like everything we're always taken care of, right? Because your guides really just had us going. And then one day when Amanda got a hold of me, they were like, okay, you have no idea, but this is your time, and you're boom, this is it. So really after that, it's kind of just taken off, and I've met people on the way, and being able to look back now, everything I've done, or the major landmarks in my life, as I call them, have led up to this particular,
Isn't it amazing?
Ownership of who I am, I guess.
Isn't it amazing that, you can go kicking and screaming, trying to get in the other direction, but when spirit goes and opens that door, you can get sucked in so quickly. And, and it just as quickly, of course, spirit will push you out of those situations and into different ones. That is, that is great. Now, I have to say that, same story, except I had more, I had, early training. I won't say more training. I had early training.
No one at all.
And for me, that took a lot of the fear and everything out of it, because it was a lot of fun. For me, it was. What scares you about this? Now, that was a hard question. I'd like to ask other mediums this, because I'll tell you, I come right out. I say, I'm chicken shit. I hate being in the dark by myself. 2 reasons. First of all, I know I'm going to fall into something. But secondly, I really listen. You saw me in action. You saw me in action this weekend as I missed the last step coming down.
You may or may not have watched me walk into a door frame. I don't know. Yeah, so it's all good.
We were leading the blind this weekend. Oh my God! But what is it that scares you? I don't like. Spirit doesn't bother me. Shadow people, that doesn't bother me. But what I don't like is what I call the funhouse effect, where things all of a sudden are there in front of me. What is it that kind of, bothers you?
Yeah, that's a big one, actually. And I was just talking to a friend of mine on the phone a little while ago, and she and I met her. I have a dental background, and I met her working in the field, and then she now we kind of reverse roles, and hi Nate, we kind of talked about that. And I just totally lost my train of thought, and I don't know what the hell just happened. Oh, and so we said, and I don't know, my mind just it was like a blank slate, like so much with the eraser, and just everything just went
wait a minute,
away.
quick, look, something shiny. Wait a minute, did you see that just shiny? It's shiny. That's us. Honest to God, that was us. If the audience could have seen us working, the two of us,
my God,
it was just like we talk, and all of a sudden we'd be like, whoop, whoop. It was like we were two ping pong balls bouncing off the walls. That's why it was so much fun.
Well, we were like in our own world. It was great.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's what was fun about it, Debbie.
Exactly, Debbie. Which is not unusual for people like us, which is a big part of our struggle, right? No,
I
so I remember.
I agree.
So, I was just laughing.
I knew that this was going to be a laugh. This was going to be a giggle fest. I already knew it. It was going to be a giggle fest with us.
So I don't like the idea of things just like you popping up in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was just saying to my friend on the phone that, she asked how Brianna, because I had recently taken my youngest daughter, who's now going to be 14 in a few days, on a tour investigation. And, we stayed at the haunted hotel, and our room was supposed to be one of the most active rooms. And again, I don't mind the energy. I mean, everywhere we go, right, we're picking up on energy. We have spirit that wants, to talk to us all over. But there's just something about opening my eyes and waking up and seeing somebody or something standing at the end of my bed. Why does that bother me? But I can hit the nasty stuff without blinking an eye or batting an eyelash. I have no idea. I think it's the element of the surprise. Although I will say this, and I've told the people I've mentored this as well. When we learn to discern things, part of it is because I don't see things physically with my eyes the way other people do. So when things are happening for you all the time, it's no big deal, right? But when you're not used to it, but you can do it and it sometimes happens, it's a different story. So I don't have the fear of it that I used to, right? I always tell people if I saw somebody, because people are always like, oh my gosh, oh, I don't know what I'd do if this happened. And I'm like, but you don't understand. I might react the same way because it doesn't happen for me all the time. So if I saw somebody walk through this wall right now while we're standing here, I might pee my pants as fast as you. But the only difference is going to be that I don't have that fear of it anymore. Not the fear that someone who hasn't learned about themselves and learned about what's going on and known how. It's the element of surprise almost that I don't want, which comes with the territory. Like when Mike and I were I love when stuff happens though. I think it's just when I'm sleeping. It's almost like, okay, we're good. I don't sleep as it is, which a lot of us don't. So, or we work, so we don't rest when we're sleeping. And so that's a whole different ballgame. But yeah, it's one of those things where I think that's the one thing I always say, I prefer not for it to happen. But then sometimes I'm like, oh, okay. But I think, we all have our little things about us that
I think so. I really do. I really think so too. I'm an extremely light sleeper now. And I got to tell you, I've fallen asleep in almost every haunted location I've ever investigated.
Good for you. Well, Bree was real comfortable. She was like, okay, I'm tired. Good night. Boom. And I was like, you're going to bed? What? I was like, damn it. Oops. So here I am watching TV and I'm like, oh, all right. And I'm looking around. I'm going, okay, if you're going to appear, just appear. Just
exactly.
Exactly. So over with. So,
because, I hate when things just jump out at me. That was the thing at Wildwood Sanitarium when we were doing solos and Joe was there and a couple other people. The last thing they said to me, try not to drop any F-bombs. And
do they realize how hard that is?
I walked up to the second floor, and it was like I turned this corner, and this shadow person was, because the hat was there, and the whole thing. Boom! All these F-bombs came flying out because I didn't.
You are totally justified, my friend.
Oh, thank you. See, this is why we get along. And what really sucked is, you get used to, how to, you and I read energy in the houses. We pick up the energy before anything else.
Right.
I got nothing. It was like a blank slate. Mm-hmm. I thought this was going to be like the most boring long night of my life. We're going to do an hour up here.
Yep.
No.
And sometimes it is that way. And then other times, boy, were we so wrong. And it just comes out of nowhere. Oh, yeah.
And just to let everybody know, Kristi and I have bought stock in Depends. I just want to let everybody know that.
That was a very interesting conversation.
Yes, we did. That's right. We did talk about that. Nothing, Kristi. Nothing is out of bounds with you and I get together. How long have we known?
My bladder was small before I had 3 kids, and I'm 43. I've had 3 kids. Come on, my bladder can only take so much.
9 surgeries, 9 bladder surgeries. Forget it. Those days of holding it all day are gone.
Oh yeah.
No. I think the quote of the night was, I think I peed a little bit. I think that's what we were saying.
Don't make me laugh too hard.
Kristi, I think I peed a little bit. That's what we were. But those are the conversations we have.
Yeah, exactly.
And especially in between scenes. I wish somebody would film the in between scenes, because those are the best.
I think we should seriously have bloopers. Tom, if you're watching, bloopers.
We need bloopers.
We do.
Maybe not. I would be afraid to see what some of our bloopers were.
Pay-per-view only.
Why not? Why not? Hey, I got to ask you. Let me ask you this. A lot of people know how I get into that zone where I just like take that breath in, and it's like the cognitive thing, and then it's like rock and roll. Let's get going. It's like, You're a little bit more gentler getting into it, because I noticed, I was like, do, as I was walking up these stairs and everything behind you. And then it was like, I could tell you, as every step you were taking, I could feel your energy going, ooh,
Yeah.
What's the process? A lot of people are interested in the processes that we use. What is your process for getting into that zone where, either you're going to read, or you're going to do what we did the other night, read that energy and look for something and try to bird dog it.
There really is no secret or process for me, and every location is different. There are days and times where even if I'm going to do a private party, I'm getting ready at my house and people are talking to me. I'm picking up on things already. Things in energy and spirit is interacting with me. It just depends. There are other times where I can walk in, and again, learning, yourself and knowing that spirit will always step up and your spirit guides will never let you down. You walk in and you're going, okay, guys, I have not heard from you yet. What's going on? I feel nothing. I think nothing. I'm seeing nothing. What's up? It just depends on the location. It depends on, just the environment. And honestly, what if they want to even talk to you? The location may not want to interact with you. The spirit there may not want to interact with you. It's no different than giving a reading and somebody wants to hear from a loved one and they don't want to step forward, and you can't make them. You can ask them, you can offer yourself and say, I'm right here. You can even try to antagonize a bit sometimes in a situation. And if they don't want to interact with you, they're not going to,
Exactly.
So it really just honestly just depends. There's really not any rhyme or reason, but I will say that when I got into paranormal investigation, that was definitely different for me, because even though it's not different doing what I do, it's still very different. And it really is. And I'm still trying to find my footing between, I'm always a medium first, hands down. I know not everyone is like that, but for me, hands down, I'm a medium. My responsibilities are different. When you have me work with you, it is different. I am not an investigator first, but I am an investigator. So trying to find my medium, my happy medium with that
Yeah,
is,
the balance point is tough. The
the
balance
balance.
point is
It
tough.
is.
Yeah,
It is, because it's really not. But I feel like you don't want the medium that you have with you to be acting like everyone else, because that's why you have a medium in the first place. You
exactly.
know.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Kristi, we're going to take a 30-second break to pay some bills. And everybody out there, you're listening to What Else? The Black Cat Lounge here on whatever network we're on. Who knows? I mean, these are the sponsors are the important people. The network, not so much. The Black Cat Lounge is sponsored by Paranormal Oddities, The Little Store with the Big Heart, Buffalo Phantom Hunters, Patronus Photographic for all of your photography and design needs, Nancy's Sewing Room, masks, aprons, purses, and more, and Wild Raven Candles for those magical times. And welcome back to the Black Cat Lounge. We have one of my favorite people in the whole world. She is a medium. She's a Reiki master teacher. She is a bon vivant because she is like everything. That's what I love about her. She's everything. You know, we go like this. What do you think? Who do you think? And everybody says, oh, it's Kristi London. So welcome back, Kristi. How are you? We were talking about the paranormal aspect of what we do, which is really can be a little, it's different. And it can be harder because of the fact that, see, with me, whenever I get a producer getting a hold of me, the first thing I say is, listen, this is the way I want to work. Let me do my walkthrough.
Right.
Get me back in the car.
Problem, so I'm going to take your word for it.
I want to go back in the car. Get me back to the hotel room, and I want to be asleep by 11 or 12. That's the truth. You know what? You guys want to walk around with your meters and stuff. That's fine. Just let me do my walk through and go home. You know, but no, it's funny because there is a line of demarcation that has to be followed, because I've been on investigations that the mediums have overtaken.
Right.
And you have to really be careful, because mediumship, we need to go and point out and do that contact work and try to get people into those areas where we feel that the energy is most strongest. And this way they can get a more positive reaction to their meters, beepers, and all things that go with D-cell batteries. I don't know. And I don't want to even know what some of those things are, because they even scare me. There's a couple things in there I think I saw like in one of those adult movies, and I'm still afraid of that, Kristi. I'm just telling you, some of the things I saw on these investigations, I don't want to know what they're for.
Okay.
But, we'll talk about that another time.
Well, you saw it because you recognized it. How did you recognize it? Never mind. I don't want to know. Nancy, you're on your own.
I was told about it. That's what it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's a ticket.
Get on your feet. I like that.
Yeah. You have to do a song and dance sometimes. Right. That's like swearing in church and just going like this. It was them.
Right.
Not me.
Right.
It came out. But
yeah.
I mean, do you find it we're talking about balance. Do you find it's really quite a tap dance to do what we do?
Yeah. I mean, at first, when I first started getting into it, when you're new in any situation, even in a job, even wherever, you don't want to overstep. You want to be confident and do what you do because that's why you're there.
Right.
But you also need to find that humble part of yourself that says, okay, but I'm also here to learn.
Right.
I'm also here to be a team player. So what do you do? But I feel very strongly that investigators and mediums need each other. It's not about one or the other. It's, when you're on an investigation and you have both, you really need to work as a team.
Exactly. I agree the same.
Yeah. And it's, I used to be a little more timid about walking in. I don't always tend to say a whole lot. And so people, I think, take that the wrong way and sometimes think that I don't know what I'm doing, or, they're questioning whether or not I can do what I do. And I learned to just kind of put it out there. And the older I'm starting to get, it's kind of nice. The less I'm starting to care, and not in a bad way, but my
No, it's a good
confidence
thing.
in what I do is, look, I'm here. This is why I'm here. And this is how I work. Now I can be flexible and I can tell you what I can work with and what I can't work with
Right.
because and that's how it is. But I'm absolutely open. So you want me here, you want me to do this. This is what I need. Now, how can we work together? And so I think that's really important. I think that's really important.
I have to tell you, your confidence level from the first time I've seen you like work I forget how far back the first time I saw you. We're not going to go that. We won't talk about that many years because we've known each other.
It's like 7 years. I've been in the public for 7 years.
Okay, so it had to be 7 years.
So it's got to be about 7 years.
But I remember one of the first times you ever did a public hunt, and you were a little bit of a church mouse, back then. Now, but that's what was so cool about seeing you work the other night, because of the fact it was like, you know what? No, I'm not. I love when you said this to me. No, I'm not getting that. This is what I'm getting. It was great because the two of us are getting different.
Bossy like that, was
I? Yeah, you were
like that.
Yeah, you were. That was great. It was great. The hand went up. Wait a minute.
I was probably just lost in thought. My Italian side took over. What do you want from me?
No, it wasn't. Just go like this, Kristi. It was them. They took over your body. It was them. It was them.
They really kind of did.
But yeah, no, I mean, especially that hallway. That hallway had so much stuff going on there. Where they had the servants' stairs going down. That had a lot of stuff going on there. And I was getting this here, and then we were kind of getting like the same entities, but like different stories. So I don't know if they were lying to one of us or what it was. And it was really interesting. And I think that's why it was so cool to see that, because of the fact that it was like your confidence level is so much higher than when the first time we worked together. I mean, but that's what you have to do, because you can't. I tell people you can't give a crap about what you're going to say. If I'm in church, I'll filter I'll try to throw a filter in there. But if I'm doing something outside, no, there's really no filter. No. That's not what you want. You want the truth.
Well, and that's just, you can't alter. If you're being told something and it's verbatim, you need to repeat it that way. It's not my words. I mean, my kids have tried that, and they've gotten grounded because that doesn't fly when you're a kid, and that's not really what's going on. And mom knows better.
Yep.
But really and truly, when you're delivering a message or reading the energy, that's how it is, and that's how you say it. And I mean, I will filter a little bit, like I there are some lines you have to be careful of, but yeah,
not many. People have found out.
Trying to be a little PC here, honey. Okay.
No.
I know.
People have found out in my gallery readings at casinos. I stepped into the. I followed in on the great steps of Chip Coffee, and what you see on TV is a little bit different. What you're going to get in the gallery. So
that's great, though.
If it's good for him, it's good for me.
That's right.
Except I just won't go like this and say I'll cut a bitch or something. That's not my line. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't see you doing that anyway, though. So I wouldn't. Yeah.
No.
I wouldn't see you. Yeah.
No. Now, you know what? I gotta in everything that we do. What is your strongest ability? Because as an instructor yourself, that everybody comes into you, especially your 101 classes, are like teenagers whose hormones are just have activated, and everybody is all over the place. So you get 10 people in there that are like, you got to figure out what's the strongest what's your strongest ability, and because I know, listen, I could hear your ears, like, I could feel your ears wiggling when you were getting stuff audibly, and I could, and I could feel, and you're the same way, when when the student is like getting it, you can feel that you can't exactly get what they're getting, but you're getting that energy flow.
Yeah.
What's your strongest ability?
It's funny because I have once or twice, but not regularly, taught a full class. When I mentor people on this level, it's one-on-one, but I do also have a group now that I've acquired a group. So Excellent. We do work that way. But it's the ability to helped them to keep going. And I attribute that actually to my dental assisting days, because I worked more so in the different places I worked. I worked with students at the dental school, and I worked with residents. And when they are doubting themselves and you can
Yes.
feel it and you know that they've got this and they're not sure, they're scared,
Yes.
it's the same as saying, keep that blade going. Don't just keep it going. You're almost there. You have to do it. Or, okay, now try this. You have to just keep it slow and steady. And I feel like I'm able to do that without really thinking about it.
The
Which
one
I'm
thing
very grateful for.
the one thing that I have is I lost the ability to subjectively even visualize anything. I lost that during an advanced mediumship course that I was taking, and it was so intense that it just snapped, and I thought I broke myself. And now it's just I get the essence of everything, because I don't see anything. I get the essence of it, the essence of words, the essence of tastes and smells and sounds and stuff. I got to tell you what, I think I caught you doing that Saturday night.
Oh,
Because,
I do both.
oh my God, because I'm like
Yeah.
I'm like over there going. There was one time the two of us just like meshed right in, and it was like, wow. And you could feel that energy was just meshed in perfectly. So I thought that was an amazing thing. Oh, wait a minute.
Really was.
Wait, we have a little question. How do you keep the light up when people want you to hide your authentic self and abilities? That's an excellent question.
Yeah.
Very, very good question, because I wasn't outed until probably the early 90s at where I worked and stuff. People really didn't know what I did.
Right. Whew, that's a good question.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, all of our lives are so different, and our environments are so different, and the circumstances we're in are so different. Honestly, you're going to have your good days. You're going to have your bad days. You're going to have your strong days. You're going to have your not so strong days. You're going to have your happy days. You're going to have your shit days. Sometimes you're going to be like, you know what? I got this, and you are not gonna, that's it. You're done. And you're going to keep walking forward, and you're not going to give that person or situation a second thought. Then there are going to be other days where they're going to make you feel this big, and that's all there is to it. And you're like, you know what? I don't even care. That's fine. We're going home for the day, and I think as long as, I think the biggest thing you have to remember is you're allowed to have those days. But you need to rise above it and move on. We all need our moments. We all need our days. We all need even a week. But as soon as it affects your life in the wrong way, that's when there's a problem. So, if you need to kind of back off. Plus, I think sometimes too, I really feel like our guides help us to truly know. We know when we're hiding because we just don't want to deal, or we're afraid to stand up. And then we also know when maybe we're being shown or taught how to back down or back off of something. And it doesn't mean you're wrong. It means maybe it was just the lesser of two evils, or the best decision, or the best way to handle something.
Right.
So, because we forget that sometimes, just because, one important lesson I did take from my first mentor was that just because we know something doesn't mean we have to say it. And, I grappled with that for a little while, but it does make perfect sense. It's no different than being a parent, or just knowing something. Are you going to say something just to aggravate or upset somebody because it'll start trouble or it's inflammatory? No. Good people don't do that. So, you really have to just find yourself. But honestly, the biggest thing for me was the fact that one day I knew inside that I felt like I finally came home when I realized this about myself, and I wasn't willing to give that up. And that's all there was to it. And I marched forward and pushed everybody out of my way who wasn't going to be supportive or willing to accept me.
You have to do it.
But there are days, trust me, there are days where I'm like, wow, that other medium really made me feel like crap. Okay, I'm going to let them have their moment, and then I'm going to move on, and I'm going to keep doing me. And, you have to. And that's how you're going to have life and things work out for you, because you're not going to worry about the rest of them. When you see that whoever your higher power is, and the universe and your spirit guides are going to continue to help provide for you, or to provide for you as long as you help yourself. Exactly. You're always going to be good. So let yourself have those days and moments. Just don't let it be any longer than that, and you'll be fine.
You have to be able to go. And let's face it, we are in a field that is very egotistical, because the ego is what makes us effective.
Right.
People don't realize that the ego, they always say suspend the ego, but you can't suspend the ego and still be effective with what we do.
Right.
And
I know.
And we all have it. My ego right
Yeah.
now is, the size of Rhode Island, but that's only because I have Kristi London super medium on with me today. So I'm very, very happy. But it's people don't get that. So everybody gets those crappy days. Everybody gets beat up. I mean, I was beat up for how many years in Western New York, and I've outlived everybody, and I'm still here. So what you got to do is you got to remove yourself out of the equation.
Yeah.
You can't be in competition with anybody. All you want to be is who you are. And if you can help somebody, that's what you need to do. That's all you need to do.
People, there are enough dead people to go around. That's my motto. There are
Yes,
enough
there
dead
is.
people to go around. We do not need to fight and argue. We do not need to worry about who's going to make it on TV, who's not. It was awesome being on TV. One of the best experiences of my whole life. If it never happens again, I'll be fine as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. If it happens and I'm lucky enough to be able to reach more people that way, then I'm going to be just as grateful for that. But let's face it, if Spirit doesn't want to talk to you, they're not going to. If Spirit doesn't want to make your little light go off, it's not going to. If if you keep doing, I've gotten out of some pretty tough situations in my life where I, really thought I did everything right. And I knew for the most part I did, and went, well, why is this happening to me? And my guides just kept telling me, and this one situation lasted over 2 years. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Stress, the emotion, the anxiety, like seriously. And they kept saying, just keep going, just keep doing what you do. As long as your intentions are what they are supposed to be, we will take care of you. Well, guess what? The person who caused trouble for me lost a lot and had to start over. I ended up on TV. And that's not me saying, haha, that's me saying, oh my God, again, I was a little kid on my floor flipping a deck of cards once upon a time going, you're so dumb. This is wrong. Like, how could you even think that? And then I'm like, no, I'm going to get it this time. I can feel it. And then it's wrong. And then, I was picked on when I was young. I was,
exactly.
always feeling like you're out of place. So you know what? Keep your intentions in the right way. Do things for the right reasons. We're not perfect. You're allowed to mess up. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to have a bad day and be nasty.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Be in touch with your human side. Exactly. And you know what I always say? Everybody goes, well, this one said this about you. This one said that about you.
I love that.
And I go like this. You know what the bottom line is? Revenge. You know what true revenge is? Revenge is being the best self you can be. Right. Because why?
Yep.
Apparently, you're doing something right because people are saying stuff about you. So you must be shaking the tree. And that's
not even trying. Not even trying.
Exactly.
Trying to just do my thing. As my kids say, you just do you, Mom. You just do you, Tim. It's all good.
That's it.
You do you, Ariana.
You do it. You wait. Next time we're together. We're just going to do this to each other. That's all.
That's right.
We'll be going up to Nate going.
Tom, Nate, cat. It's all good. Yeah.
Now, hey, because I'm going to let you go a little bit early because I know you've got the big, where's my sage? Everybody, after this show, I need you to go.
Yes. Join me on my show.
I was going to say turn Kristi on, but I don't want to say that. That's not right. that just does not sound right. So please turn on Kristi and Mike's show, Where's My Sage? So tell us how everybody can get a hold of you, learn a little bit more about you, Kristi. I'm feeling a little red on that one myself. I'm going to be honest with you. I think I stuck my foot in my mouth on that one. But
it's A-okay. It's just me. Love it. So, well, you can find me all over Facebook. Kristi London. I have a public page and I have a business page. So my business page is Kristi London, Medium and Reiki Master. My public page, there he is. All right, remember this, Nate. My public page is actually just Kristi London, and it does say public page. I thought I'd make that easy because for someone like me, it's easy that way. Where's My Sage? A Taste of the Universe, which is the show page with my awesome, wonderful partner, Mike, who is probably handling everything on his own right now because he is that wonderful. And what else? So he really is. I couldn't have asked for it, but I don't partner with people. I work with, I'm a free agent and I work and do whatever. And I
Exactly.
got very lucky. There was a reason, but so I'm sure he's handling everything for the show. So I have no doubts there. What else? Where's my stage? I have my website, blueeyedonepath.com. You can also go there. I do not have an office right now. With COVID, I let it go. So I work from home. So, but I'm always doing, readings virtually on the phone, things like that, public events. I am starting to get into doing those now. We're traveling more with COVID lifting. So, yeah, you can call me 716-472-3151. Call me, baby.
I'll have my people call your people, baby.
That's right. Yeah. There you go.
Our imaginary people. They're not even guides. They're just imaginary people. Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna throw this out at you. You ready for this one?
Okay.
Come this fall, let's try to put something together, you and I.
Oh, I would love that.
I
would love that. I would be honored to do that.
I think it would be fun. We could do mediumship gallery round robin.
So cool.
That's always good. Yeah. Maybe have a little music and stuff, and just have something that's just fun to do. So let's see what happens. We'll just wait a minute. We'll cast our lots up on the seas of Joe from Paranormal Oddities, who's opening up a brand new part of his store.
Joe. We love Joe. We love the store
for these events. Hint, hint, Joe. So maybe, hint, hint, Joe, you might want to go and think about,
have your people call our people, and
we're here. We're open. We're open. We'll all do lunch. We'll do lunch. Kristi will buy her. Kristi will even buy her own lunch because neither one of us will have any money to do it. So,
okay, but as long as it's pizza.
Only, but I'll meet you at Batavia Original.
That's right.
That's for everybody.
Perfect. That's awesome.
So, hey, Kristi, I want to thank you so much for stopping by tonight. It was just so much fun. I really do. And you know what? Have a lot of fun on your show tonight. Say hello to Mike for me.
I will for sure. Thank you.
But really, this weekend was so much fun to work with you guys and work with you. And it's a lot of mediums don't like to work with other mediums because they're always worried about the oops factor where, I don't know, maybe I got something wrong, maybe, or they agree too much. The one thing I will say that was neat was at the very end of the night when we split up and you were down with the girls down in the basement and we were up in that bedroom up on the second floor and we both got something. And I don't want to say anything, but people can tune in, but we both kind of tuned in on something, and that was
parts of the entire house. Yep.
And that was neat.
Spirit met us in the middle. It was awesome.
Yeah. You don't get that very often. Usually you get like, I'm on the right field, you're in the left side. It's like, never works. But it really did. It worked really well.
It really did. Yes. I think we are, you have those mediums where you work really well together and you're on. Or you have those people where, and it has nothing to do with whether or not you like the person. Right. Your energies just don't mesh. You cannot work together. No. I think you and I pair very well because we can be on point or spirit communicates. And I agree. I think that when we were working the other night, we were picking up on some of the same, but they were telling us different stories, which is awesome because then we get to enhance each other.
Exactly.
What we're receiving. So I agree.
Exactly. One last thing before I let you go.
Yeah.
So Kristi is feeling something with a leg, and we're walking on the second floor, and she's going, it's like a shin. It's like something with his shin. I go, hold on, Kristi. I pull up my pants leg, and I've got this scratch I had gotten during the day. And she goes, I'm reading you. I hope they keep that in the film, in the project, because that was just too funny. The two of us are like, of course.
No one else is like, oh, I don't know. Okay, well, someone had this leg issue because it's really centralized. Then it went away and then it came back. And I'm like, okay, what the hell is going on here? Oh my God. And Tim's like, oh, wait a second.
Hold on. Ding. I was like, I forgot about this. That was
all we need to do is validate it and it goes away. So he just wanted me to suffer for a little while. That's
No, I didn't, but it was funny at the end when we realized it. Kristi, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Make sure you have just a great night. And you know what? I can't wait. I can't wait till when we get a chance to work again, you and I.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, everybody. It was so nice to be here. Good night.
Good night. Love you, kid.
Love you soon. Too. Okay. Bye.
And that was the great Kristi London. Wasn't she great? She's so sweet. And, you know, it was just so nice to be able to go and have a chance to work with her this weekend. We laughed probably more than I usually laugh on most investigations. And I laugh a lot on investigations. But it was nice to be able to work with somebody who I consider a peer. And it's just so neat to be able to go and work. And at first, we're vibing like this. And it was like, we're both reading, you know, different things. All of a sudden, it started to really sink in. And once it sunk in, everything was synced. It was an incredible experience to work with her. So I love doing it. So everybody seriously go and just follow her. And her and Mike put on a great show every single week. And so I really was thrilled that she could come on the show tonight, especially after filming. So anyway, before we go, let's just throw a couple little healing things out there. Mother, Father, God, you were known by 1,000 other names. The Berries in Gettysburg, please send healing down there. There's a surgery that's going to be happening soon. So I really hope and pray that you will go and look down upon them and make everything smooth and everything work everything well for them. I also ask that those who are recovering from different diseases and who are suffering right now from both mental and physical ailments, that they become whole again. I'm really pray for that. I also pray for the world, especially in the Middle East where tensions are flying high. I mean, we really need to go and send a calming balm to them over there, the Palestinian and the Israelis. It's really something that has to be done. And also send healing and just healing to all of our leaders, our political leaders, whether they're on the local low levels or the presidential levels. Please send healing to each and every one of them. We do this in love and life. Amen. Hey, so anyway, you've been listening to Tim Shaw here at the Black Cat Lounge, where the elite meet next to the dumpster transfer station. And I want to go and I want to thank each and every one of you for hanging out with us and just, it was a giggle fest tonight, and I loved every minute of it. So I'm glad that you guys came, and I'm glad you guys just hung around for it. And we'll see you where else next week, Tuesday, here, where the elite meet. Take care, guys. Ciao. And remember, let's just do one kind thing a day. That's all. If everybody did one kind thing a day, just one, not a lot, just one. Here, I'll put my finger this way. There we go. Just one. I think we would have a better world. So good night, everybody, and have a great evening. Ciao.